Why Mingus? Charles Mingus is a legend of music, not just jazz, but music, and we cannot afford to bring up another generation who do not know of his importance in art and its intersection with civil rights.
Why is Mingus music good for education? Musically, his incredible range of style provides us with an incredible number of ways to engage young people. If they don't connect with this style, let's try this one. If we're not getting the hook we want here, let's go here. From an improvisational standpoint, we get a chance to explore structured improvisation and completely free improvisation. And that opportunity to balance the science and the soul is a really powerful tool in an educational setting. Beyond music, his life story gives us a chance to explore pressing issues really relevant to today, from the social scars of the transatlantic slave trade to all the opportunities that society risks losing by having high levels of inequality. And I think best of all, we get to encourage resilience, discipline and the pursuit of excellence through really powerful and joyful music.
It's a tricky one, but at the moment my favourite Mingus album is Let My Children Hear Music from 1972. And that's because it's got this incredible, rich, almost symphonic underpinning underneath the mad collective improvisations. Every track's completely different from the next, and yet it's got everything you'd want or expect from a Mingus album.
Every workshop is unique in his own way. I remember this one in Cambridgeshire. We played for a special educational needs school, and there was such an amazing energy in the room. They gave us everything they could, and we gave everything back. We played everything we could, and I really remember that day so fondly.
My favourite gig moment came after a gig we played in the London Jazz Festival at the Royal Festival Hall. A wonderful gig, big gig, lots of people there. I was standing in the foyer afterwards and an audience member came up to me, shook my hand, congratulated me on the gig and said, "Look, I'm a jazz fan, but I don't know much about Mingus. Can you recommend an album that I should start with?" And I said, "Oh yeah, of course, you should start with Mingus Arm 1959. That's a very common jumping off point to get into Mingus." And he, great, wrote it down and said, "I'm going to order it on Amazon as soon as I get home." And then he went off and I turned to the person I was with and said, "Hey," high five him and said, "That is mission accomplished. One of the things we are trying to achieve with the band is to bring the music of Mingus and its importance more into the light."
Work song. This is one of my favorite songs that I have the pleasure to play with the Blues and Roots Ensemble. This song is something special for me. I have a deeply connection with this song. It reminds me my ancestors, my culture. I love this song. Thank you.
What is your favourite Charles Mingus tune and why? My favourite Charles Mingus composition is probably Goodbye Pork Pie Hat. I really like the melody. It's really sort of bluesy and soulful. I also really like the harmony. I also like that it's an elegy to one of the greatest jazz saxophone players, Lester Young.
Performing, it's you give, but actually if you give it properly, you actually take a lot. It's amazing, it just comes back. And I can't live without it somehow. I think I cannot. And it's something that if you feel a little bit music in you, you should try to do it somehow. Whatever it is, singing, playing, dancing, you have to perform. It's energy.
In terms of favourite performances, I think they've all been really good fun, but the two that stand out for me are the Jazz Cafe, just because it's always been one of my favourite venues to watch music. And it was, we just had a great night there. We got a really great response from people who didn't necessarily know the band or know Mingus's music. But really enjoyed the gig, and it was kind of felt like validation of the ethos of the band of sharing Mingus's music. And secondly, our performance 2018 EFG London Jazz Festival. Just to be at the South Bank Centre, we had 60 participants on stage, some as young as 6 and adults in their 70s, all improvising a big suite of Mingus music, people wandering in off the streets to watch the rehearsals, a big kind of open community feel. which I think is just the spirit like that Mingus would have wanted and would have liked his music to be shared. So those two are the ones that really stand out for me.
So what's it like singing with Blues and Roots Ensemble? It's exciting, it's challenging, and it fills me with joy. I love it.